Hello, hello, everyone. This is Isaiah with Visiblepreneur here, and today I've got with me Sherry, and she is a very good friend of mine. I've known her through networking. She loves helping people, and with that being said, this is going to be an important episode for you health addicts out there, and for those that need to become healthy. So I'm going to let her explain everything from there. So, with that being said, Sherry, what is it that you do? And please tell us, how did you get started?
Sure. Thank you so much. I really appreciate you, Isaiah, having me on your show. And I am Sherry O, they call me. I have a bit of a long name, and I work with Reliv International. And Reliv is a food science company. They study nutrition science, and their world headquarters, where they do all the research and manufacturing and development, is here, actually, in St. Louis.
Awesome.
And so they've been doing this now for 32 years, and I knew their headquarters was here. They were actually one of my accounts when I was in my corporate job. And I started learning more about how people's lives were being touched by this company, and I was just truly blown away. And it caused me to want to learn more, and that was 11 and a half years ago.
Wow.
And so it just got into my heart, and I just want to invite people to see what I've seen and share that so that other people who are looking for answers can get help. Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, no, that is awesome. I love that little story. And then, how did Relive get started?
It's a really great story. I won't share all the pieces, but
Yeah.
as I've learned all these things through the years, it's like the more I've learned, the more I was just so in awe and amazed. But they were started because of research that was done by a scientist after World War II. He was in the army, a combat medic and a paratrooper, and he was shot down by enemy fire, and he had injuries to his back that were severe, shattered discs and a variety of things, and he was told he would never walk again. And he was a scientist prior to the war, had several PhDs, had actually had some remarkable discoveries in South America. He resolved a serious cattle disease that was going on there. And so Dr. Kalogris said, I always wanted to research a healthy human cell to understand what are all the components that help that cell perform at its best. Because his thought was every system is made of cells, and if you've got a cell working at its highest levels, it's going to heal at its highest levels. And he thought, I can do this research. I really want to do it for mankind, but he also wanted to see if there was something that he could do to help himself get out of that wheelchair. And
Yeah.
so for 10 years, he researched that, and the World Health Organization actually funded his research at that time. And he was able to put together 72 different components that all worked in harmony. And that was very, very complex research, lots of algorithms of how everything works together. So, but the amazing thing was that he was able to get up out of that wheelchair, Isaiah, and he walked with two canes and then one cane. And so he knew he had a hold of something really special, and he wanted to share it with the world. He just didn't know how. So he met Bob and Sandy Montgomery at a nutritional symposium, and they had lost their parents within a year of one another, so they decided to be more proactive in taking care of their own health. They had small children, and they wanted to be around for them. And they met Dr. Ted there, and they heard his story about his research and what happened, and they were just so impressed. They got their whole family started on his formulation, and they became good friends with Dr. Ted. And a
Yeah.
couple years later, Bob was diagnosed with a brain tumor that had probably been there since birth, possibly, the doctor said. And so it had to come out. And the doctor said he wasn't sure if Bob was going to make it. And if he did, he would have to relearn how to probably talk and walk and use his arms, because that's where the tumor was, all the places that control those things. So the doctor told Bob that his outcome was going to be very dependent on his health going into surgery. And when Bob came out of the hospital 3 or 4 days later, simply wearing a baseball cap with no residual impact whatsoever, he thought, oh my gosh, I just, he went and told Dr. Ted, I really feel a moral obligation to help you get this out to the world.
Wow.
And so that's when Reliv got started. Dr. Ted was getting ready to to sell his patent to a large corporation and sell it in retail stores. And Bob said, I really wouldn't do that because people won't know what they have a hold of here. And it's obviously not going to be taken the same way for every person depending on what their needs are. So they started Reliv in 1988, and 32 years later, they're in 18 countries. And they have a foundation. Dr. Ted was very insistent that he wanted to do something about the starving children that he saw when he was in the war. And so in his honor today, we nourish over 35,000 families in need, mostly children, in 9 countries every day.
Yeah, wow.
So it's really amazing. And there's a lot of things that happen here in the States as well.
Yeah, no, that is very impressive.
Yeah.
It goes back to way before I was born, and I'm only 28.
That's right.
Oh, yes. So, Sherry, this is going to be important for a lot of people that's out there. So, why is it that nutrition is important, and what do people need to know about keeping healthy?
Well, I think that a lot of us know what we should do and what we shouldn't do, for the most part.
Yeah.
But quite honestly, if you think about it, we're supposed to eat to put things into our body, nutrients, nourishment. That's how our body is getting fed. That's the only way our body is getting fed. And today, even the American Medical Association says that there's no way that our bodies can get everything they need every day from our foods for a lot of different reasons. So we have got to take a supplement. We've got a supplement to get those nutrients. Because what happens is that when you're experiencing a deficiency in your body, and there's a lot of different factors, right? And I'm not the dietitian or medical person or scientist. I've just learned this from listening to them. But what happens is that those deficiencies are happening oftentimes for many years before symptoms start showing up. And the truth of the matter is that 75% of chronic diseases can be prevented. I know that we're kind of more reactionary, right? Like, I'll worry about that later. But unfortunately, people end up in places that are very disruptive to the life they want to live, and even threatening their life. So it is important, but I think we all want it to be a little simpler, and that's really what I was looking for. I just didn't know that it existed because I was taking a handful of supplements. I was asking people questions about what I should be taking, and I always thought, what would it look like to get everything my body needs? Would I have to take 500 things, 700 things? There's no way you could afford to do that. And how do I even know how it's all working together? Or how do I even know what a quality supplement looks like? So when I found out that that's the research that Reliv did, I was so excited because I thought, finally, I know that at the end of the day, whatever gap I missed in my foods, I take this nutrition and it's going to, fill that gap. So, and for me, I had life-changing results. I was diagnosed with asthma as an adult. Yeah, and the doctor said I would be using inhalers the rest of my life. And I'll tell you what, I felt terrible. I was 41 years old. I was falling asleep at 7:30 at night. I was falling asleep at my desk every day. I got sick every year. I had respiratory flus. And the doctor just said, well, you're getting older. And I thought I still had a few good years left in me at 41. And so, my future didn't look so bright. I was told I would have to use inhalers and they were going to keep increasing the medication. And I actually refused to take all the medication the doctor gave me, but I couldn't breathe without the inhaler, so I didn't have a choice. So when Reliv came along, I didn't know it was going to help me with my asthma. And that's like, how in the world can the nutrition help with asthma? Well, it's not that the nutrition's doing it. It's your body doing it. The nutrition is fueling your body to do what it can do. And Isaiah, we're seeing so many younger people that are being diagnosed with chronic issues, cancer, a lot of digestive problems, diverticulitis, Crohn's, so many people with migraine headaches. They're not just, there's a reason why these things are happening. And we see results with all those kind of things all the time, every day, all around the world. So there are answers, and it doesn't have to be complicated. There's brilliant scientists that have figured out what we need, and they make it easy for us.
Yeah. Yeah, which is really, really important to know because there are people, they just think, okay, I got this one illness and then now I've got to either take the medicine or they're just non compliant in taking it. And please, people, keep yourselves healthy.
Well, and the people that you love and care about, there's a lot of parents out there, and once you become a parent, you want what's absolutely best for your child. Well,
Yeah.
there's no way if adults can't get what they need in their food, children certainly can't. And we know how kids are about food. A lot of kids, they won't eat everything, and even if they do, they're not going to get everything their little bodies and brains that are all developing need. So to know that at the end of the day, I wish I would have had this when my kids were young. At the end of the day, to know that your child got optimal nutrition, and you guys, this is so safe. The FDA does not require warning labels on Relivs formulations because of the high level research and the strict quality control of ingredients and manufacturing processes. So it is safe for newborn babies. Newborn babies are given the Reliv formulations. Pregnant mommies take this. This is the best prenatal. It's the most comprehensive optimal balance that prenatal moms can get for themselves and their baby. So we're seeing amazing results for children that are struggling with their health and children that are struggling that have disabilities or special needs. There's answers out there, and we have a whole community of support all around the world that loves to pay forward the gift that's been given to them.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And because Reliv has made research so simple, because we all need to understand how our bodies are functioning as well as what is it it's deficient in, what is it we need. So the question I want to ask is that with that being said, how is it you can advise someone on what products they need to use, especially if they have maybe someone like myself, high blood pressure, or obviously this won't apply to me, but like someone who's heavy set and needs to lose the weight? Like, what's your thoughts on that?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, well, it's it's great because everybody that gets started on Reliv pretty much starts the same way. You need that core nutrition builds the foundation because that's nourishing your whole body. And then we
Yeah.
monitor your progress. So we have a health profile and we watch how your body's responding because we need to see, what's going to happen with that core nutrition. That may be all somebody needs. But we do have targeted or what we call functional formulas that have been researched to target a specific area of the body. So, for example, if people are having really serious heart issues and they might need extra help, their body needs extra help in that area, there are the formulations targeted for the heart, for brain function, for joint repair, muscle and soft tissue repair. So, so we only add those when people need extra help.
Yeah.
But we have the Lunacin, which was discovered by Dr. Galvez when he was researching cancer over 20 years ago. And now that's being studied all around the world. And one of the amazing things that we have found with that through all the research is how it's greatly reducing inflammation. So when your
Yeah.
body's functioning properly, it's going to do that anyway. But this is just something to help enhance that process. And University of Missouri, Mizzou, did studies on Lunacin, and they found out that it was helping with metabolic weight and the hormones that control hunger. And so we see people that get started on the core nutrition and the concentrated Lunacin called Lunarich X, which is patented by Reliv, lose weight. And a lot of times people aren't changing anything that they're doing. They're just losing weight because their body is just starting to function properly and balance now.
Yeah.
For people who need, again, extra help, because it's never just a one size fits all. And weight is impacted by so many different things, right, guys? So, and it is body, mind, and spirit. Those are Reliv's little flags, body, mind, and spirit. And But that's where that community of support comes in. But we have a fitness program called Fit3. It's for healthy weight management and just physical strength.
Yeah.
And we've got resources online, which, by the way, anybody who happens to see this, anybody's welcome to check out those resources. You go to reliv.com and just go to our product tab and then go down to Fit3. And you don't have to even be a consumer, a customer of Relivs. They just care so much about helping people feel better and live the way they want to that they have these free resources for anybody. But there's 15-minute videos that you can do that anybody of any age, ability levels, you can modify them accordingly, but you can do those at home. And they have guidance on, picking foods from different food groups to try to get a good balance and the right kind of nutrients. And then, of course, we would encourage people to use the Reliv nutrition every day to ensure that you're getting everything your body needs to perform at its best, not just to survive.
Yeah, absolutely. I love that. And with that being said, now, this is where we're going to get into a little bit of controversy, not too much though. So, as we know, the COVID-19 has taken plenty of lives. People, unfortunately, has died from it. However, people have survived from it, which is not really have been said as much. And we know that if you get the right vitamins and minerals inside of your body, that your body will learn to fight it off with early detection. And it's like, okay, it's got to fight it off. Then there it goes. So what's your take on that?
Well, I think that it's so overwhelming right now. Our lives around the world have changed in terms of how we're having to live and work and be. And I just encourage people, they're really, a lot of fear comes because we don't understand. We don't understand what's going on. And Dr. Galvez, back in, I guess it was March or April, he did a Facebook Live. And if you'd like to watch it, it's still available. But he explained to people what happens when your body gets exposed to a virus. First of all, if you've got a really strong immune system, and I guess what they call a smart immune system, you're more apt to actually be able to fight that virus, from getting it.
Yeah.
Although if you do get it, your body knows what to do. Your body, when they develop these vaccines, and Dr. Galvez explained this, a vaccine is literally just forcing the body into doing what it's already naturally made to do. Yeah. And it's to produce those antigens and antibodies and enhance the way these NK cells there are some type of killer cells. But, think of it like I pictured in my mind like this battle, when the virus comes in, the body goes, whoa, warning, danger, battleground, this doesn't belong here. We need to get rid of it. And so the body knows what to do. So you want to make sure that you are strengthening those systems so that they're adequately prepared and working at their best. And, most of the people that have gotten coronavirus have not died. It's the people that have the pre-existing conditions that have weakened, particularly respiratory situations.
Yeah.
Those kind of things work against you. So see, with me and my asthma, honestly, I don't know where I'd be today if I didn't have Reliv. I got off my inhalers 10 and a half years ago, and I don't have to worry about the side effects of those medications. I didn't get cured of asthma, but my body is strong enough to function on its own, keep my lungs strong enough, my immune system strong. And so, gosh, if I would be exposed to something like the coronavirus, in days gone by, I would have really been in trouble. I could have been one of those people who could have died. I don't know what's going to happen to me now, and I hope I don't have to find out, but I feel that I'm doing the very best thing for my body. I feel that that I'm protected. And so I just encourage people to let us help you. Let's get educated so that we understand what it means to have a smart immune system, and how to be strong, and things that we can do for ourselves and our loved ones, to help enhance those processes to be our best and not live in fear. Yeah.
Yeah, that's it. 'Cause, there are some that do panic in fear, kind of going away from that for a second, and there are some that know how to survive. It's like, oh, wait a minute, there's a whole bunch of fear. You got to keep your thoughts together and remember, you stay healthy one way or another. Obviously, exercise, Reliv is what I highly recommend, and just making sure that you're staying away from the bad stuff. So cannot stress that enough. So, and Jerry, I definitely got to ask you this because you're one of the other people that I've had on the show that I've met through networking. And so how did you get started into networking?
Oh, well, when I was in my corporate job, they required me to get out in the world so I could get our company name out there. And so I was familiar with networking from that. And then when I started working with Reliv, I was thinking about it later, and I thought, I should get back into networking. And I had tried one organization that I knew of before and did that for about a year. And then I wasn't really doing anything for a while. And then I heard about Networking Today International, NTI,
Yeah.
and came to check it out. And I loved that they were focusing on relationships. And I think people are becoming a lot more aware of that in today's world, that we really need that sense of community. We need to get to know one another and know how we
Absolutely.
can really have that sense of helping each other. So that's how I got involved. And I love the fact that NTI had different meeting locations and things like that. So I've gotten the privilege to meet you and other friends that get together in the different locations.
Yes, absolutely. Because I think I could be wrong. Either they got about 4 or 5 locations right now. I know 2 of them are meeting in person, and the others are right now through Zoom. But I've definitely been to multiple of them, and they have just been fantastic. The people you get to know, and networking is just a world in its own.
It is. It's easy to stay doing what to do, but that's not where we learn. When you
Yeah.
get out in the world, you start learning like this. This is really cool that you guys came up with this idea, and
Oh
it's
yeah.
wonderful to. You're doing a good job, Isaiah and Anthony.
Thank you.
Anthony, good job.
Yeah, and hopefully we'll be seeing Anthony soon. So I know he's definitely getting better. He did test positive for COVID, but he's a lot better, and he's off the quarantine, and he's as strong as you ever know it. So proven fact.
Good. Very good. Yeah.
And so one thing I like about you is that you love helping people, no matter whether it's through Reliv or not. What was your passion about getting to know different people and helping them through walks of life?
Well, I think most people like to help other people, I would think, for the most part. But I was told one time when I was in my corporate job, they said, Sherry, you should start your own business where you connect people. I said, what do you mean? They said, because they would hear me on the phone, because if somebody was looking for something, or even if they didn't like their dog food, and I happened to hear hey, this other dog food that my friend uses, she loves it, and it's on sale at whatever store. You just do that, But they said, you seem to always love to connect people where you're telling this person about something else that this person can do for them.
Yeah.
And I said, yeah, but what kind of a business do you establish where you get paid for that?
Now, was that an employer that told you that, or a coworker, or was that a customer?
Yeah, it was a coworker.
Oh,
And so
wow.
I always remember that, because the thing that's so funny is that's exactly what we do in Reliv. I am truly, for the most part, I am a people connector, because the biggest way we can help people is if they're struggling or they have a challenge in a particular area, then they can talk to somebody else who's been there and done that. And it's like, that's why we have support groups, because people are there to share their experiences. And we've got the most huge network in Reliv all the way around the world, although I work with people in this country for obvious reasons, time zones, language barriers, et cetera, et cetera.
Yeah.
But, yeah.
All right. Yeah, that is awesome. And last but not least, how can somebody get in contact with you?
Well, you can feel free to call me on my cell phone. I'll just give it to people, 314-226-8172. If you want to check out my website, it's yourabundantlife.reliv.com. And you can, read about my story there and maybe read about any other things that might catch your attention. But if you've got any particular needs, whether it's for your family, your children, we're about learning. We're about helping people make informed choices. We're not asking anything from anybody. It's a company that just wants to give and help people find whatever it is they're looking for. Right now, I would also say, Isaiah, that there's a lot of people who have lost their jobs, and there's a lot of people who are looking to have an opportunity to work from home around their children. I see a lot of parents that are reevaluating their priorities now, or they have kids that are having to do online schooling. So we do not go out and recruit for Reliv. Reliv really wants to have people that love what they do. We are a big family, and we all help one another. So I just invite people, if they're looking for a way. We do have an event coming up on November 6th. It's at 6:45, and it's going to be at the Lodge in De Pere. The Lodge is following all the regulations for the county, and we have our own separate door to come in through to the room. So we have limited seating, but anybody's welcome. You just need to contact me either on my phone, 314-226-8172, or you can reach me at my website and let me know. It's open to the public. I just need to know how many people we have because we have a limited seating. But it's a great way to just see a bigger picture and understand the impact in people's lives and see if it's something for them, whether it be for health or protection, or whether people are coming to check out an opportunity that they need to work from home. You're welcome.
All right. Yeah. And thank you for that. And thank you for being a guest on Visiblepreneur.
Thank you so much.
Oh, yes.
It's so fun. Thank you.
All righty. So you've heard it here first. And like I said, my name's Isaiah, and this is Sherry O. Forgive me if I pronounce this wrong. The O is actually for Otzenberger. Am I right?
It's absolutely right.
Yes.
Look at
All
you.
All right. That is awesome.
Yeah, good job.
All righty. So, thank you for being on the show, and can't wait to get out there. And for those that are watching the show, either you're watching it video or just audio. If you want to check out both audio and video, you can find us on Facebook. Just type in Visiblepreneur. It's one word. And for those that want to check out our YouTube channel, just look for Visiblepreneur. We're right there. And if you happen to catch it on Anchor, same thing. You can find us on Anchor, Apple Podcasts. You can find us on Spotify. So pick your choosing, and we're there. All right. So with that being said, I'm Isaiah, and everybody have a good night or day, wherever your time zone is, and take care.